far one of the most underrated monsters in the Monster Hunter franchise, but definitely has a good fandom. Odogaron is weird when it comes to the food chain because he doesn't have a turf war with Devil Joe, honestly, and that's kind of the dumbest one here. He's an apex monster, and yet he gets the same mechanic treatment as any fanged wyvern, which is pretty stupid. They could have at least put the time in to make a unique turf war that's specific to Odogaron. I mean, you guys can have this guy fight Tigrex, Legiana, Rathalos, and freaking Glavenus, but you guys can't have him fight Devil Joe. Like, it's absolutely ridiculous here. And yeah, let's talk about where this guy ranks on within the food chain. Now, Odogaron, right, is a fanged wyvern, something similar to, in the same family as the likes of Zen Ogre, who is an apex monster. By the actual game itself, Odogaron is an apex monster, is actually the alpha predator of the Rotten Vale, probably one of the biggest corpse or graveyards of any monster known today here. He rules this domain with an iron fist, pretty much being the dominant predator over Great Gyros, alright, and Oregon. It's very possible that he preys on Oregon because, again, Odogaron is capable of taking down something as big as Oregon despite his size. Oh, sorry, that's Radabon. But he's also capable of taking down Oregon, which is actually ridiculously impressive, considering Oregon is just a much more, stronger version of Radabon. In the Coral Highlands, he's capable of taking down Palumu, capable of taking down capable of taking down the likes of TT Yaku, even giving actually being one of the first few monsters to give scaling, actual speed scaling, to be light faster than light speed here, because it's able to dodge Palumu's light flash or whatever. Then we enter Ebony Odogaron. It's a stronger, much more powerful, and much meaner version of Odogaron. There's really no if, and, or buts about it. It's meaner, stronger, more aggressive, and possesses dragon energy, and it pretty much just runs around every environment here. This means it goes into the crosshairs of Glavenus, Acidic Glavenus. You also have it with Rathalos, Val Hazak, and even Black Veil Hazak, okay? Black Veil Val Hazak, okay? So this is also an Elder Dragon, something who's capable of stalemating Devil Joe, and Odogaron is able to give it a hard time, probably much more of a hard time than Devil Joe. So again, Odogaron ranks very high on the food chain, and if I had to say it, it's very possible he could be above the likes of Rathalos and Legiana, which is actually, a pretty common thing here, considering the fact that he's able to not only, get around and maneuver onto these guys, he's able to get on their backs. There's also the fact that he gives the likes of Tigrex, Nargacuga, alright? Nargacuga, one of the fastest monsters around. One of the faster of the, of the ground flying trio, okay? On the GFT, the ground flying trio. And even the giving Barioth, who's one of the most broken apex predators, a hard time. And here's the thing. Barioth, right? Barioth is capable of putting Devil Joe and Rajang on t-shirts. This is actually known in its lore, or basically in its ecology, which I guess you could also call that as lore, but you guys understand that, right? In its ecology, it's actually known that Barioth is actually capable of taking down Tigrex, Brachydios, Glacial Ignactor, okay? And that's a pretty big deal if it's capable of taking down Glacial Ignactor. Even putting, hunting Tigrex, again, it's capable of hunting down a Tigrex, which is ridiculous. Kezu, Glacier Nersilla, okay? Which is absolutely ridiculous considering Nersilla is also able to put monsters on the t-shirt and even skin them alive and wear their skin. Okay? So again, this is absolutely ridiculous on how powerful these monsters are. I'm just saying, it's pretty ridiculous how powerful these monsters are here. And even being able to hunt down and take on a Brachydios. I'm just saying. The fact that Ebony Odogaron would even go to the Elder's Recess where Brachydios pretty much rules its domain actually does go to show that this monster is pretty confident in how capable he is. And I made Monster Hunter versus matchups to actually confirm that Odogaron is an absolute beast when it comes to combat. His agility and reflexes allow him to pounce on the likes of Uragon. Okay? Someone who can smash cliffs. Okay? Like, this guy is able to cause earthquakes just by hammering the ground. You could even say he's the Apex Predator even when Fulgor Anjanath is around. And Fulgor Anjanath is able to give the likes of Nargacuja, Barioth, and Tigrex that work. Until they pretty much get a hold of him and pretty much put him down. But again, this goes to show that he's a ridiculously powerful and confident wyvern. Okay? The fact that he's giving someone like Tigrex a hard time, who's actually known to go toe-to-toe with Gammoth, a member of the Fated Four, and the fact that Odogaron pretty much fights one of the most dangerous members of the Fated Four, Glavenus. It is absolutely ridiculous that he's even able to compete with a monster like Glavenus. And the fact that I really believe if you put this guy in the old world or the old Monster Hunter games, this guy would fight a lot of monsters here. There's no if, and, or buts about it. He's definitely fighting the likes of Saragios, okay? Saragios, Legiacris. Sorry about that. He's definitely fighting Legiacris. Alright, that's an easy no if, and, or buts about that one. Definitely fighting Legiacris. He's definitely fighting Nerscylla, like I said before. And there's a lot of monsters he can fight. Let's see, Nerscylla, Narjarala. Okay, I know I was thinking of him. Narjarala as well. I think he would even be able to prey upon, especially the Ebony Odogaron version, Kongalala as well. Celtis Queen. So because this guy is just like absolutely ridiculous when it comes to how capable he is. He can literally weave around, jump on to his opponent, bite down on their neck, and get an instant kill shot. Honestly, that's honestly how it should be in Monster Hunter, but again, we all know how the game mechanics work here. But without game mechanics, I do believe this guy gives Devil Joe a run for his money. Devil Joe isn't as fast or as rapid as Odogaron. And Odogaron is one of the most rapid monsters out there. I even say he's around the same level and the same playing field as Ian Garju when it comes to just how dangerous or how relentless he is in combat. Like, this guy, even without his overdrive function, is able to give Tigrex, one of the most dangerous monsters out there. The Lord of Malice himself is pretty much is struggling with this guy. Like, really. Then there's Barioth, who's known to put other monsters like Devil Joe on t-shirt, having a hard time, beating these kind of monsters. Even the likes of Rathalos and Legiana, monsters that are just absolutely high on the food chain. Even Shrieking Legiana and Azor Rathalos. Shrieking Legiana, I'm not sure if that is the male or female variant of the species. I think it's the male because it's much bigger and stronger than a regular Legiana. So this means the Legiana we fight could be a female, and the Shrieking Legiana is more of the male's sexual dimorphism. Same thing with Rathalos and Rathian, in that kind of situation. And it's not uncommon to see Shrieking Legiana and a Legiana pretty much in the same environment as each other. They they pretty much share the same territory, and Odogaron is pretty much sharing, walking around mountains with them. And it's very possible he could be hunting these guys as well. Now you might say, "Oh, well, he's a scavenger." You don't. Again, I'll say this once, and I'll say this again. You do not get that big from scavenging. And Odogaron is in a decent size to take on the likes of Rathalos and Legiana. If we actually said a lot of things were scavenging out here, this would mean T-Rex should not be as big as he should. Because here's the thing. Rugops is a scavenger. But yet we have Odogaron. And that's all I'm really going to say here, you guys. Please comment, like, and subscribe, and share with your friends.